71 South Cincinnati. How did that little oops turnaround turn into additional 10 minutes? That's crazy. This is a mess. This whole intersection is crazy. Look at all those bridges. Look at all them bridges. I'm glad I don't have a horse in the trailer right now. Alright, for anybody on, not on, can't see, don't know, I don't know, or will watch later, I'm driving to Kentucky, and, yes, I've already been there once this weekend. Hey, Ellie! So I can see comments, that's good. My little knob on my thing broke, so now I need to get a new knob. Part of it's down in the dash. It fell down there last night. This morning, last night, I don't remember. Yeah, I figure I probably pissed off enough people on my personal page. Oh well. I know my videos go on a rewatch or replay for some people, but the last few days has been crazy. Literally crazy. I think the last time I was on was Florida with everybody. And I was talking about the vet conference, and we were talking about Dr. Busby's toe clippers. I will, Ellie. The toe gripper things. I showed the loop bags. All the stuff that I got. 104 miles. Settle in, boys. Let's see if we can get out of this town. So I drove 19 hours straight back from Florida, sick, because I caught the conference crud while I was there. So of course I've been home. I was homesick for a while, and the truck was down. So just before we left for Florida, the truck had a warning thing on the DEF system. So the DEF system is that diesel exhaust fluid. And, hey Ellie, in the comments, can you do it at followers? I don't know if it'll work for you. And, so the diesel exhaust fluid system kicked in. It said you have 99 miles till it decreases to 65 miles per hour. And then you have 99 miles till it decreases to 55 miles per hour. And then I don't know, I've never pushed it past that point. Well, Dad pushed it past that point because before everything happened with him, he was driving the Amish. And they needed to get their horses to the chiropractor. And so we went from that to, as I'm driving through South Carolina, North Carolina, Dad calls me and said, so what do I do when it shuts off? And I was like, what? I've never had that happen before. And he was like, yeah, that's what it's telling me. And I was like, great. So then my normal mechanic had hand surgery. And so he couldn't do any of the work on my truck because the other guys that work for him don't really know what they're doing without direction. And so nothing got done on my truck while I was gone in Florida. So then, oh God, you guys. If I had no luck, if I had bad luck, or without bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Hey, Kelly. So I get back and he says, so I think I fixed it. This would have been Monday or Tuesday of last week. And I said, okay, cool. He's like, yeah, there's water in your DEF tank. It froze everything. That was part of your problem. I said, okay. What about everything else? He was like, I didn't touch anything else on your truck. And I was like, okay. So who am I taking it to? Because it still needs new brakes. It still needs an oil change. It still needs the fuel filter thing. And I can do it. I'm just not doing it in negative degree weather on the cold snow. And I haven't done the brakes on my truck yet, so I'm not familiar with how that one part works yet. He says, take it to this guy, which is thankfully only like 3 miles down the road from us. So I said, okay, cool. So on my way, the whole warning system came back on the truck. Oh, you've only got, it's decreasing to this power and this. I was like, great. So I got down there and the guy's like, yeah, I wouldn't drive it. And I was like, yeah, no kidding. Hey, Ann, I've definitely been through it. Yeah, we're not done yet, Amy. He's like, yeah, I wouldn't drive it. Leave it here. Let me take a look at it. I said, can you have it done by Friday? Please. I have hauling to do. I have no money coming in. I need my truck. He's like, I'll try to push things around and see what I can do. And I said, that would be awesome. So then I had my mental breakdown. That was the day where I posted 3 things about just done with it all and everything like that. And then the bad news, which then I found out that Dad was going in for heart surgery. And on top of that, while we were gone, Dad had slipped and fell on the ice and busted his knee. He can't walk. So now my old papa is on crutches and recovering from heart surgery. So he can't fix my truck. He can't tell me how to fix my truck. I have no money coming in. I have everything going wrong. I woke up that one morning and we have no fuel oil left. The house is cold. And I have no money to go buy fuel oil. So we're puttering along until we can get some stuff scraped up. Because we can buy diesel and put diesel and burn that. And we have all of the electric furnaces going. And then the heat light for my well house went, and so that froze the well water. So then I had to spend the whole time that I was supposed to be on the road on Friday trying to get the well water to all be unfrozen. And as soon as I took the hose to the house, came back out to the barn, it was running. And you go back to the house, go get the hose, and hope to God the hose hadn't froze because it was full of water, and sat outside for an hour with me waiting for the thaw. So that was great. He calls me at 1 o'clock on Friday, your truck is done. I said, oh my God, thank you. Friday is when Dad had heart surgery. He had to go to Buffalo without me because I needed my truck. So as soon as I knew the truck got done, I had the barn settled for me to be able to disappear for a couple of days. Got over my sickness. I've got everything lined up to haul this weekend. I'm sick again. My kids are sick. But the horses have hay. The water's running in the barn. We have heat in the house. And my truck is currently running. So we're going with it for right now. How is Dad? Dad is doing good. He called me this afternoon, check in on me. He says he doesn't feel any different. He says, I'll tell you when I go outside and start working. And I said, no, you're not. You're going to stay right where you're at. His knee is going in for an MRI tomorrow. And he was discharged on Friday night and went home the same day as surgery. So I take that as pretty positive for him recovering very well from it. So Dad went through rheumatic fever as a kid. He missed an entire Christmas because of it. He talks about it a lot, and it always has bothered him. But he survived. He's got issues with his lungs that he's had for a long time that is under control. And because of that rheumatic fever, he's been living with a heart condition that has finally got to the point that doctors say it's time to change that. And so that's what that was all about. Dads are a pain. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. So yeah, and Dad completely understood. The best part was when they rolled him back into the room. I was there when they brought him back down from recovery. My windshield's dirty. I was there in his room when they brought him back down from recovery and waking up. The first thing he says to me is, "How's the truck?" And I was like, "I love you, Dad." I love you. He heard me talking from the hallway and he was like, "Oh, Colleen." And I was like, "Nope, try again." He was like, "Oh, Emily, how's the truck?" And I was like, It's driving, Dad. It's working." So I was like, "Yep, Dad gets it." He understood that I had to wait for the truck to get done before I could come up, and he understood, and that's the most important part for me, because like I felt super guilty not being able to be up there for the surgery for him. I felt super guilty for not being able to be every moment, but unfortunately, like, he knows that if I'm not on the road hauling and working, that I'm not bringing in money to pay the bills. So when the truck got done, I hooked up the trailer really fast. My dad is awesome. He really is. I hooked up the trailer. I ran to Buffalo. I grabbed Jay. I said, "Come on, let's go." We ran over to the hospital. Jay babysat the truck while I waited for Dad. And then when I got done with Dad, Jay picked me up in front of the hospital, and down the road we went to Pennsylvania. So then Friday night we picked up a halflinger in Pennsylvania. We ran the halflinger. He was the biggest halflinger I've seen since Charlotte, the first rescue that we had a long time ago, and Amy still has her. He was a big halflinger gelding. We took him to Kentucky, and in the exact same town as that halflinger, we had to pick up a mini donkey. So then we turned and went down the road a few miles and picked up the cutest mini donkey that I posted on the page. And I happened to grab a blanket that would fit him, and so that's the blanket that was donated to us. The lady with the halflinger made us peanut butter cookies and chocolate chip squares, and I have a lotion bar in the back seat that she makes out of homemade beeswax and lotions and stuff, and so I've got that in the back seat still. And then Jay and I went up to the Lexington, Georgetown area of Kentucky, and we picked up this hugely big quarter horse gelding. She is your queen. Yeah, Charlotte's got a little bit of a boss attitude to her, but she's awesome. And we started heading north. So then we left Kentucky about 11:30 noon yesterday. We had to grab back into Pennsylvania, and we grabbed kind of an awkward conglomeration of animals to ride along with us. We had a mini zebu, we had a goat, and we had a dog that we picked up in Pennsylvania yesterday afternoon, and we ran them across Pennsylvania to New Jersey. I will admit, last night was the first time that I've ever lost my cool and composure on a client. I lost it. But the problem was, and I'm not blaming, but I'm saying what set me off was the immediate attitude of, you can't do this, so now what? And I was like, whoa, excuse me? There was a lot of words said. There was only one swear word thrown around. And I now have no running lights on the right side of my trailer. I have to replace all of my marker lights on the right side of my trailer. The guy wanted me to back the trailer down between a pair of barns with a 12-foot gap between a round pen and a tree, with a height clearance of not as tall as my trailer. Well, then he said, if you can't do it, then turn it around and go the other way. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. Well, why not? You said you could do it. You have snow like this in New York. Yeah, I do. I thought you were talking about this snow, not the powdery stuff that you haven't compacted. I was not driving my truck down there. And I refused to move the trailer. I'd already moved the animals 6 hours across 3 states, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and New Jersey. Another 20 feet was not going to kill anybody. The animals couldn't walk anyway. The zebu does not walk on her right front, and the goat has a neurological condition. So it's not like they were going to get very far if they'd gotten away from the people anyway. But the dog was super friendly. She rode in the back seat. Jay absolutely fell in love with her. She did wonderful on the trip. She was an absolute excellent passenger in the back seat. So then after that, we dropped off the donkey, and then at 7 o'clock this morning, we were in Saratoga Springs and dropped off the big quarter horse. And then I dropped off Jay, and now I'm back on the road by myself, headed to Kentucky here. After I stopped at home, gave hugs and kisses to my kids, talked to my husband for a minute, fueled up the truck, got a different coat because I have cow poop on my other coat, and down the road I am. So I will be getting into Kentucky about 9 tonight to grab 2 more halflingers, then taking them back to New York. So it's been a busy few days. Yeah, the powdery snow is impossible to get around. You cannot. I mean, my truck has 4-wheel drive. It's got high and low. It's pretty powerful. But powder snow is near impossible. I've seen tractors, real tractors, not tractor trailers. I've seen tractors with tire chains get stuck in powder snow. It's just not going to happen. And I was not going to do that at 9:30 at night in New Jersey with a horse trailer attached with 2 other passengers on board. So that wasn't going to happen. I apologized to the lady that paid for the animals and did pay me for the transport. And she says, that's okay. Everybody's emotions are high. I says, I know. But still, this is my professional side. I apologize for words that got said. She says, I'll save your number for future transport. Okay. But I am making money, Catherine. Yep, Kathleen. Yep. From the animals from yesterday, I was able to build up my diesel fund to be able to pay for the fuel for the rest of the trip yesterday and today's. I got a loan paid off. I have part of Dragon's February bill paid. And between the money from this last haul today and what I still have left over from yesterday and the day before, I have a truck payment to get in. And then I leave for Illinois. I leave for Indiana and Illinois on Tuesday morning for another haul. Alright, what did you guys do to your roads down here? Where are the lanes? We're going to stay right here. So yeah, so bills are getting paid. I'm making money. And I get to see some really cool animals. I get to see some beautiful landscapes like the sunset you guys have been able to see as we head down towards Cincinnati. And the last 2 days I got to ride with a really awesome friend, and that's always a good thing. I had offers of people to go with me today, and I said, nah, I need a solo trip. I really just need a solo trip this run. And it'll be good. I'll be back to the farm tomorrow, probably afternoon, because I'll get down here, get these horses loaded, and drive as far as my body will allow me to. And then I'll pull over, find a spot that's safe, and take a nap, and then keep going. So, it's kind of where we're at. And then, like I said, I'm back to being sick again. I felt it this morning when I woke up as Jay was driving. Jim's got it. Lily's got it. I know Liam's going to have it. Poor children. Do I like living up north? Would it be better for you and your family, your mom and dad, to live in Florida because you don't have all the wet weather? So the problem is that my father will never leave their farm. Never. He will never leave it. Yeah, I know, Ellie. Thank you. Rachel, hope you have good weather for your drive. Me too. Me too. Dad will never leave the farm that they're on because he grew up there. He grew up there as a kid. They moved there when he was very young. And his mother died in that house. They cremated her, and her ashes are spread out back. So his mother is literally at that place. So my dad will never leave. When I was a kid, before we even had horses, we almost moved to New Hampshire. My dad had a job offer with the New Hampshire Department of Transportation. My mother was looking at jobs, could have gotten hired anywhere. I would have started up in a whole new school system. We looked at farms, and it got to the point where Dad's like, he's just not going to leave his mom. He adored his mother. And I know she was a really awesome lady. She was a lot like me. I know where I get my stubborn personality from. It's definitely from her. My Grandma Dell. All they do is hide inside from the humidity. Yeah, that would be a problem for my dad too. My mother would love it. My sister would be somewhat okay with it. I could not handle the Florida weather. It's too hot. My dad would not be able to handle the humidity and the heat. One, because of his lungs. He has trouble in New York when we have hot, humid summers. He had trouble in Virginia when we would go down to visit when his dad used to live there. So my parents will never leave New York. Never. I have threatened my family, both my husband and my mother, that I will be moving to Virginia or Kentucky at some point in my life. I love both of the states. I think they're both beautiful. Virginia has always held a special part for me. If I can never move to Ireland, then I want to move to Kentucky or Virginia at some point in my life. So I don't know what the future may ever hold, but I know my dad will never leave. Hurricanes, always says. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing we'd say about New York. As a northerner, we say in New York, we tolerate the cold and the snow because we don't get earthquakes, we don't get tornadoes or hurricanes, we don't get the heat, we don't get mudslides, we don't get forest fires, we don't get a bunch of that stuff. The only thing we got to worry about is the snow and the cold. And lately the ticks, but I don't know. I was wondering if this weather spell that we've been having will be cold enough to kind of decimate the tick population this next year. Fingers crossed it does, you guys, because man, the ticks have been so bad. We needed a good cold winter spell to take them out. That's the only good thing I'm trying to get through my head about this cold weather we're having. Your husband's the same way. His blood and history is your farm. Yeah, exactly. I agree, it's too hot here in Florida. A good 6 months out of the year. The rest is pretty awesome. Although it was one of the 20s. I heard that, Julie. I had heard that one of the places down there hit 20s and 30s. My friend in Georgia that moved from my hometown, it was 14 degrees. So I'm like, you guys get a little taste of the north now. It's kind of amusing, a little bit for us. Colleen and I did have some cold weather that we experienced while we were down there at the conference. You know, the weather was not really warm, except for the very last day when she and I went to the amusement park over there at Epic Universe. So it finally hit like 74, I think, when we were over there. So that was kind of cool. You're going to speed up because you finally realized that if you don't, you're not going to get in front of me because I'm a horse trailer, or you're going to let me in. No, okay. So yeah. But it's kind of sad. My husband and I were talking about this on the phone earlier today, that, you know, it's in the teens up in home right now, or at least it was. And he's like, hey, you know, it's actually not too bad outside. And I was like, yeah, because it's just not single digits. He's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, because I stepped outside trying to do some stuff with one of the fuel tanks for the truck on the trips coming home. And I was like, oh, it's not too bad. And I checked the weather, and it's like 10 degrees. And I went, my body's getting used to this cold weather. Darn it. It just means I shiver less. That's all. You kind of get cold, or kind of get used to it. Your body's like, okay, time to make more red blood cells. Pack on that insulation there, boys. Come on, let's go. Chop, chop, tick them thighs. So, my body's hit that point where it's used to that cold weather again. You're so cold, you're supposed to play tennis tomorrow. Oh, good luck with that. Do you have snow? Once you get moving, you'll be alright. I lived in Florida for several years. I have a reason to live in Florida. I can give you 10 reasons not to. Your bugs down there are weird, you guys. The Florida bugs are something else, I'll tell you. I don't mind the snakes. I'm not really a fan of anacondas and stuff like that. I know you don't have anacondas. No, you guys have the Burmese pythons. Hi, Shannon. And you've got the African rock pythons that everybody's like, oh, they're cute pets until they get too big and they start eating their children. And then those two breed together. They're not supposed to because they live on completely different continents. And then they turn into a super python. And then you guys have open hunting season for all 3 species. It's great. No thank you. No thank you. You're originally from Indiana. Nice. I don't think I could live in Indiana either. It's too flat. It's not bad when the wind isn't blowing. I know. Typical. That's a typical answer, right, Amy? Wow, the weather's not so bad. Wow, the wind's not blowing. Where am I? I'm in Ohio right now, headed down into Cincinnati, headed to Kentucky. Just curious. Do I carry a pew-pew for protection? But I think I'd learn if I traveled. Okay. So the answer that is normally yes. So remember, I was born a farm kid. I was raised a farm kid. And I was taught as a farm kid. The circle of life is a fact of nature. Oh, absolutely, Aunt Janice. We can do best to protect the circle of life and you know, respect their souls. But I never got into hunting. I'm not a hunter. I don't go in deer season. I don't go for bear season. I don't go for any of those. I respect the people that do, because I know there are families that have to hunt to survive because they cannot afford groceries. I respect those that hunt for the sport and then donate the meat. Kudos, congrats, good job, thank you. I do not respect the hunters that trophy game or trophy hunters. I don't think that that's a good show of respect to the souls. I understand nuisance animals. I understand protection of livestock, and I understand self-protection. So to circle back around to the question, I learned how to shoot at a very young age. I learned my respect of my rifles and pistols at a very, very young age. I learned all the safety rules at a very young age and continually reinforce them into teenager and adulthood. I am a licensed and registered pistol permit holder. Yes, I have one. I have multiple pew-pews. I have them for self-protection, and I have them for protection of livestock, and I have them in, God forbid I'll ever need it, but to end a suffering soul. Okay? I do not currently have mine with me right now. But I carry a lot of big pocket knives and a tire thumper. But I will say, in the current state of affairs, I will be carrying one with me a lot more often. So, and it is labeled and strictly labeled as self-protection. So, yes. I'm a pretty good target shooter. We used to do a lot of skeet shooting with my uncles when I was a kid. And I was always the cleanup person, because if they'd ever miss them, they didn't want to have to go looking for ones that never broke. So I always got to do the cleanup shots as they're falling out of the sky. So the clay pigeons, yeah, I was always pretty good at those. So yeah. It's not for everybody, and I respect that. Not everybody likes them. Not everybody understands. Everybody has their own opinions around such tools such tools. We'll go with that way. But right now, again, you got to remember, I am a white woman traveling in the countryside, occasionally by myself, into states thousands of miles away from my home. Probably not the safest thing not to have something for self-protection. And I know it's one of my mother's biggest fears. So yeah. I miss doing that. My dad passed when I was 7, but I taught my daughter. Well, good on you, Kristen. Good job. Yeah, it's a good idea for when traveling. I just have to make sure that the states in which I have it, that I respect their gun laws as well. There are certain states that do not reciprocate the New York permits, so I have to be careful with those. And hopefully this year, get in front of me and slow down. Thank you. You guys are great. You got stuck between me and the semi-truck ahead of you, and don't you just look like the dumb people driving on the highway. A lot of that lately. I intend to teach my kids respect of the tools, respect and value of life and souls, and kind of do with it as we will, curb any bad behaviors. And this next year we'll be heavily working into getting my permits across the country, so I at least have one that covers quite a bit of country. I don't have one because I never learned. They say if you can't use it, they'll take it from you and use it on you. Well, yeah, actually, Julie, they're not wrong. In an altercation, if you don't know, it is very easy to take it from a person that is not used to handling one and turning around and either stealing it or using it on them. So yes, I agree actually with that statement. Your best bet to learn, again, I know this is uncomfortable for people, just remember it's respect of personal choice. Go to a gun range. Ask them if they know of any instructors. Ask any friends of yours that do, if they could help teach you. I know when I got mine, I had never used it until we actually traveled with it to Texas. And the only reason I took it was because Jim's dad, my father-in-law, is a part of a gun club down there in Texas area where they're at. And so he took me out. His dad's a veteran, ex-Marine, and took me out to one of the Texas gun ranges and showed me a lot more with it so that I was more knowledgeable with my own weapon. And this whole live is probably going to get taken down by Facebook because of the words. I'm going to see if I can save it before they take it down. But he was teaching me how to use my own tool, so that way I was comfortable with it in the case of any circumstance that I may need it. So, but in New York, you do not have to have a permit for a long range or for a long barrel, meaning a rifle. You need one for anything that shoots semi-auto though. So You gotta read your laws and your rules around that stuff. But again, I do recommend, if anybody's going to get into one, educational live. Exactly, it's an educational live. I'm not teaching anything that's illegal. I recommend finding people that are knowledgeable, because the last thing we need is anybody getting hurt or worse. So that's my recommendation on any of that. I know New York offers courses. That's actually one of the mandates for New York. You have to go through a course every year now. I'm grandfathered in because my permit was done before they changed the laws. So I don't have to take them. I can take them if I ever want to. So yeah, there's that. Again, your other options are, of course, the ones of metal kinds, such as frying pans, medieval swords, for, of course, historical reenactments, spears for medieval reenactments, baseball bats are always great, so many colleges have classes. Yep, you can find a local college. They should have something that could help. You live alone, so you think it'd be smart. You might want to have something for a self-protection implement of some sort. Again, we have a cast iron collection in case anything should ever happen. I have an Irish short sword that lives in the office with me. We have one that hangs on, a long sword that hangs on the wall. I have a tire thumper under the back seat. So yeah, there's options. I recommend. You started with the BBs. Yeah, that's where I started too. That's where I intend to start the kids as well, is with the BBs. Less dangerous. Can injure, but less dangerous. Story time. When learning with my long barrel BB, I was using, because Dad said it's a great idea. You keep a Louisville Slugger in your room. Nice. Dad said it'd be fine to use the laundry detergent bottles. What he didn't tell you was that if you don't hit them hard enough and pierce the plastic, they will bounce back. And then BBs will bounce back far enough to hit the person standing behind you and catch her under the eye and leave a scar 20 years later. So yeah, I don't recommend laundry detergent bottles. Your youngest carries a pocket-sized cattle prod. Nice. Will make 2,000-pound bull take notice. Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly, Amy. I understand. No, not inside the barns, because so one of my uncles used to have Belgians, and he had a 2-story gable barn as well. And there were a lot of pinpricks of sunlight that came through his roof of his barn, because he was always going after the pigeons. So no, I don't want small BB-sized holes in my tin roofing. Do not recommend at all. Yeah, let's just say I have a couple other things in the truck that I have in extreme cases if need be. So I am not without self-protection in any sort of way. If you carry a bat in your car, bring a ball and a glove too. Oh yeah, it's a good idea, Tim. Never thought about that. I do need to do that. Well, no, mine's an actual tire thumper. It says right on the side, tire thumper. We use them. I'm a trucker. We use them to check the tire pressures in the tires. That's all. It literally says tire thumper down the side of the bat. It's funny. Jay gave it to me, actually. And I said to him, I said, hey, you left this. He says, no, I left it for you. I went, oh, okay. I got what you're putting down. So yeah. So I'm headed to Kentucky tonight. I'll be back in New York tomorrow. And then I have 2 horses from Pennsylvania to Indiana on Tuesday. I have a mini to pick up in Illinois on Tuesday. And then I have a horse to pick up in Ohio on my way back on Wednesday. And I don't know if I'm going to make the little mini all the way out to New Jersey in time. He might have to hang out at the farm a little bit. Because Thursday I have to drive the Amish. We're doing another grocery run. And then I had Amish on Friday. They called to cancel. Which is okay because, oh yeah, Wednesday I have a pair of donkeys to move around as well. And then, so Friday I'm going to take the 2-horse trailer over to the Limestone repair shop and have them fix my clearance lights that got smashed up last night in New Jersey. And the one fender came off the left side of it. I have the fender. I did not lose it on the highway. I have it. So we're going to have them put that back on. The sky's been pretty. We're losing sunlight now. And then I'm hoping to get the truck into the repair shop on Friday as well for the brakes. Because on Monday, Jay and I turn around and go to Georgia. So we're going to go back to Georgia. And then actually it quiets down for a little bit until after Valentine's Day. All these horses you're picking up and you're taking them home. I'm not taking them to my home. I'm taking them to their new homes. None of these horses are going to my house. They all belong to everybody else. Busy. Yeah, actually it needs to be busy right now because it did slow down for a little bit. I need a drink of water. Hang on. Yeah. Get back on the road. Ew, that tastes like plastic. It did slow down pretty badly, actually. I took the 2 weeks off around Christmas, and there were a couple of gigs that wanted me to haul for them. Yeah, they're going to new homes, exactly. I had a couple of people that wanted me to haul for them during the holiday, and I said, no, I'm not doing it. I need to be home with my kids. My kids will kill me if I'm gone during the holidays. And January was kind of sparse, I'll be honest. The truck had an issue. We got it fixed. It has a new issue. We got it fixed. Now I just have basic maintenance stuff to take care of. But I need money to pay for it. Because now I have a new garage, too, that I am using. But it got really tight. January became very, very tight financially for us. It was very hard to get everything paid. We're playing catch up from January right now. But we're going to get it, and I'm pretty confident. I've got to start trolling all of the pages I've been tagged in lately, the last couple of days with people. I'm going to be putting up a post on the transport page about my trip to Florida, because I have one space going south, I have one space going north. I'm not taking the 4-horse until this weird snow weather decides to settle in a little bit. That, and I've also got a piece on that needs to be fixed before I'll use it again. And truck, you need to turn your lights on, or you need to fix a wire, because your headlights are on, but your lights in the truck are not. Did you not do your pigtails the right way? Or you got a wiring issue? Oh, you're in a day cab. No, your pigtails are in. Yeah, you got a wire issue there, dude. But we've got some new expenses that are going to be coming up here soon, too, that we're going to have to make sure we get paid. So again, I appreciate everybody who does share out my posts for hauling. And word of mouth is great. I appreciate that. When's the Florida trip? I leave Monday the 8th, Kelly. And I plan to be in Georgia. Is it the 8th or 9th? Whatever that Monday is. I plan to be in Georgia by that evening. And I don't have a horse to go to Florida. We're only going as far as Georgia, but I will go further if we have to. But then I pick up a horse in Georgia and take it back to New York. So if there's anything in between, you know, I'm more than willing to entertain those, or further south into Florida. I am getting a little bit of work from the end of the line bailout pen in Pennsylvania. So they've called me in a couple of times now, so that's appreciated. I need to get there when you're home. Well, I'm going to be home, Kelly, Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week. So there's that. I'll be home on Valentine's weekend. The end of this week, I will be getting out those who did end up deciding to do the monthly February box. Everything is in. I need to put the boxes together. Yes, I'm a little bit behind on the last December sale. January was slow and busy all at once. I was trying to get the house clean, dealing with the Christmas aftermath. I had some hauling in there. So it's been a kind of a juggle, honestly. Who takes care of the horses while I'm gone? A little bit of everybody. A little bit of everybody. At night, it's Jim. Jim goes out and takes care of all the horses. I make it very easy for him in the evenings. He worries about filling the water troughs for the main number of horses that I keep either in the indoor or outside. I make sure the round bales are stocked so that he doesn't have to worry about putting out square bales. Kelly, sounds good. See you Saturday. Kids have a birthday party Saturday, but it's later in the afternoon, so before 1 would be great. Just FYI. Or after 3. And then Frank, Critter, Nellie, and Lily go into the stalls at night. Sometimes Frank and Nellie stand because they can't stand the other herd horses. It's too much for them to deal with in their old age. They're kind of like those cranky old people who sit on the porch and go, "Hey, you, get off my lawn!" Nellie does that whenever anybody walks by her stall, and she throws her angry mare ears out and shakes her head at them. Oh, cool. Good, Kelly. We'll see you then. And so he takes care of those 4 in the evenings. And then I have a new girl that's been helping me out in the barn. And she has been pretty awesome at knowing the horses. She's got almost everybody learned and figured out. She's knowledgeable enough to know when somebody doesn't look right. She asks questions, and so she comes down in the mornings when Jim has to get to work, and helps out Tim with watering, graining them. She makes sure that Nellie and them get their special forages, and that way everybody's fed and kept up. So that's what happens when I'm gone. And she takes it upon herself to clean anything she wants in the barn. My floor has been swept. She keeps the stalls picked for me. She cleans up behind the chickens that I haven't had the moment to get to. She tries to pick up some of the piles of stuff that she knows is sitting around that I'm like, yeah, just let me deal with that. It's better for my OCD if I deal with that. So I like her. She's a great help. And I super appreciate her being around the barn. So yeah, it's nice. Dustin and Nicole come down and they help out as well still. They have Iris at my place right now still. They're keeping her there for the winter, I think. And so they'll come down, they'll take care of her, and then they'll pick up a stall here and there if it's needed. They'll take care of Frank and Nellie and those. They keep an eye on the herd in the arena and out in the pasture. They fill the water troughs. So it's kind of been a blessing of a bunch of people lately being able to help kind of keep up with all the chores. So it's nice. It's very nice. I know I've mentioned Jay in the past and my friend that was having a really rough go. Jay's doing pretty well right now. He had some things turn around for him, which was good. He needed that. The friend I talked about a while back is taking a better turn. So fingers crossed we stay on that uplift swing of things. I know people have asked in some of the lives lately and I haven't been able to answer. I don't want to talk about that person when Jay's around. It makes him a little bit uncomfortable. So, but that person I talked about that was being bullied online, things are looking better. They needed that. They needed an upswing in their life. They still cannot relocate, but I will say the group of people that pushed the person out is standing up against the bully that started the whole mess. So kudos to them. Thank you. You'll never see this video, but I'm putting out good karma. Thank you. Lots of respect from me for my friend that needed that. Because my friend was in so dark and deep. It was really bad. Really, really, really bad. And I had no way of helping them. There is literally nothing I can do to change their opinions or choices. I refuse to be pushed away. I refuse to not stand my ground as a friend and be there for them. It was a little hard accepting that I will never be enough, even as just a friend, to keep that person on this plane of existence. That my friendship is never going to be enough. That Jim's friendship would never be enough. That there literally is nothing on the face of this planet that is enough to keep them on this plane of existence. And so that was a hard concept to come around to. Really hard concept to come around to. I did. I don't like having to accept it, but I did. And I don't know what you guys have ever done, if you've ever been in that situation, where you have a friend that's in so dark and deep that you just don't know what to do to help, or if you've been able to ever get them out of that spot. It's hard. It's very terrifying. I lost my cool a couple of times with my friends, and it was rough. It was really rough. So I guess I'm kind of wondering what experience has been done out there with everybody else and them, you guys, around these situations. And I don't know if I'm just not getting comments or what here, so I don't know, just FYI. Medical situation. Well, the person is already in therapy. They have been for a number of years. They've told their therapist that there is nothing that the therapist could tell them to keep them on this plane of existence either. That there is no medicinal assistance that could be done to help them change their thought processes. So they have been with professional help. I'll say that. It's devastating. Yeah, it is. I have had 2 and both successfully ended their life. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry. I have professional experience, psych nurse. Yeah, this person has been through that before as well. They've done the psychiatric holds. Are they on medication? Yes. Yep, they are on meds. Amy, I'm sorry. I remember seeing those posts when you guys were looking for your brother. Yeah, I don't think there really is any one thing that would do it. I really don't. I know the person very, very well, and I know their reasons and their choices. And it's not my story. I'm not at liberty to explain the background of their why. It's an unusual circumstance and situation that is completely unfair. Completely unfair. And I've told them that I will just continue to be here for as long as I am able to be graced with their presence. So we've kind of agreed at that level of this situation. And yeah. But either way, like I said, they're on an upswing of positivity a little bit right now. I'm hoping it kind of stays that way for them. I know they have family around still, so there's that. I tried to make excuses for their very moody cat that only likes that one person. And I've told them, you tell me whatever you want, and I will do it for you. I will get what I can get for you. I will do whatever, because I value that person so much in my life that I would do that. Must be not the correct one. I keep trying different ones. I had to, maybe the third one I tried worked. It was really hard few ones. Yeah, actually, Julie, I know that they have tried to get tested for a couple of different things. And actually, their med doc and... No, the therapist agrees. But the med doc that puts in the orders refuses to allow the testing that my friend is asking for. She, the med doc, does not see a reason to do such. And I was like, excuse me, WTF? Excuse me? What? You're literally asking for help. You're literally asking for this testing for a mental health disorder. And the med doc is saying no. That's a problem. And I said, there's got to be some other way of doing this. And I don't know what they've chosen to do about it, but that part really upset me when they told me that. I was like, no. I don't care if they're a med doc, a psychologist, or whatever. If you're literally asking for testing for something, it's a mental health disorder. It's not like you're going out and getting MRIs. You're not going out and getting x-rays. You're not going out and getting CAT scans. You're literally asking for a psychological mental health disorder testing. And they're telling you no. What? Like, it's not, hey Sam, it's not like you're asking to spend thousands of dollars on something. Like, come on here. Go to medical director of doctors in an agency. It is an agency, Wanda. So, yeah, I think I'm going to tell them to do that, because where am I driving to or from? I am driving down to Kentucky. I am coming from home. I am on trip number 2 of my Kentucky hauls. So I've got this one alone. I just dropped off Jay this afternoon back in Buffalo. He cannot come with me on this run. So I'm doing this one alone. We're going to power through it. Somehow. I was assuming it was depression. I don't know much. So depression is a factor. I'm not getting notifications when you're on lives, despite having the settings, all notifications on and stuff. Yeah, it is. Facebook's been stupid lately. I'm going to sneeze here in a second. Yep, I did. Depression is absolutely one of their disorders. Heavy, heavy, heavy depression. Actually, we had a chat about their end of universe thoughts and mine, and I said I've had several patients who want medical director work every time. I will say something, Wanda, because this person really needs these tests. So I've never had thoughts about end-of-life ideologies or anything like that. Taboo, poor Sneaky. It's never been a thought that my brain has ever jumped to. Before kids, it was always, I just want to run away and start over. I just want to start over and do something different. I want to reinvent myself and be somebody totally brand new and different. Post kids, I will do anything it takes to stay in their lives and see them grow up. So I've never had these thought processes ever in my lifetime. And so we were talking, and they said that's how they wake up. They literally wake up thinking about what would it be like if they weren't here. And I was like, I literally never thought like that before. But I have depression. I know I do. You guys have seen my swings, even just on text messages on here. I have depression. I admit it. I've mildly diagnosed with it. I am officially diagnosed as, what's the word? Inattentive ADHD. I should have had it as a kid because I have massive symptoms for it. Yeah, y'all are going too slow. Like under the speed limit, slow. I don't know what some of the other disorders might be connected, but that's why they've been asking to have more testing done to see if it doesn't help, then at least that they would know. I've been about as bad as you can imagine. Finding the right medication really can work. I'm not saying it can't, Julie. I absolutely do not say that it can't. I understand. I believe you. I hear you. I believe you. You've lived it, and I hear you. I am so glad that you fought for yourself to be able to do that. This person fights for themselves and is still getting a brick wall. This person's been on medications and going to therapy longer than we've been friends. So they're well versed in drug titration in the system, yeah. Or can contact county medical health office. It takes 8 weeks to reach efficacy of most antidepressants, yeah, SSRI. They are on an SSRI, and I don't know which one. I'm not going to ask for details, but I know they are on an SSRI. They've complained about some of the side effects, put it that way. It's the same with me as my animals. They're my only reason to get up and continue each day. I've had thoughts to take myself, but remember my babies, I couldn't leave them even with how bad things. And Sam, you and I have talked on the side. You've had some craptastic months last year too. Craptastic months. So yeah, you get it, and I get it, and I'm sorry. But exactly, having that reason, this person doesn't have a reason strong enough yet to do such things. So yeah, I'm gonna push my friend to contact their medical directors and stuff like that to try to push the testing through. I don't understand why somebody would tell a patient no for a mental health disorder. That one just boggles my mind. Like, what is wrong with you? Ugh, people. So yeah, so that's what's. But yeah, like I said, things are on the upswing, and I hope they continue on the upswing for them. But we're gonna push that. I'm gonna push the topic a little bit more for them, with them, about them. Yes, I'm being vague. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, Julie, you had a question about the kids. Kids are in first grade. Liam, it's unethical to refuse testing if patient asks for it. That's what I thought too, Wanda. It's Erie County too, so like, huh? Just saying. You're not coming up behind me fast enough. So the kids are in first grade. My inbox is always open. Anyone who might need a friend. Yes, exactly. Same. My inbox is always open. I may not always respond. Busy. Just busy. That's all it is. That's why. So it's no big deal. Driving and texting's hard. Talk to text works half the time. The other half, no. 1/4 of the other half, I'm correcting the words. And then the other quarter I go, just screw it and don't answer. So, as far as depression part, just let them know that there are other meds that make 100% difference. Yeah, I will. I will, Julie. That'll have to be another chit chat, another night that we have some time to sit down and talk about it. Oh, I'm gonna have to. Oh wait, I have a Monster with me. I was like, I'm gonna have to get some caffeine. Nope, I have some. Liam says school is boring. He says, can you text my teacher and tell her that it's too easy? I'm bored. And I was like, yep, I will, buddy. I'll tell your teacher that you think school is too easy. And Lily's like, nope, it's just hard enough. And I was like, okay, well, that's good. I'm glad you recognize that, child. That you think that you're capable and you're being challenged at the right point for yourself. Good on you to be able to recognize that. So, school is too easy and school is just hard enough. Liam is going to be so freaking intelligent. I am going to be outsmarted all the time. Guaranteed. And the boy's got a smart mouth like his dad. So now that I'm going to be outsmarted, I'm going to be out-talked. I'm in trouble. Major trouble. What am I hauling? Nothing. I'm empty right now. I am going down to Kentucky to pick up 2 halflingers. There's snow down here still. There was snow in Kentucky yesterday. Supposed to get a storm. I'm hoping to get out of there before anything hits. I finally got the Christmas tree out. How big are the class sizes? 16. There's 16 kids in the class. So they're not very big. They keep them quite small, which I'm super thankful for. Oh no, I needed that text message. Alright, hang on, I'm going to respond from this reply. 9:30 p.m. They're both delightful kids. They are both good kids. They are. Yeah, because I'm gonna have one more fill up before I can pick up those horses. I'm gonna be on fumes. Yeah, I'll be on fumes if I don't fill up before. I don't know. I guess I'll see how close I am before I get there. 2 1/4 tanks of gas to Kentucky from my house. That is $225. Yeah, I got it, Wanda. Thank you for that. I appreciate the assistance with this. You, of all people, would know. I mean, you're right in the system. So, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so the class sizes are not big. The school system does a great job at minimizing large student to teacher ratios, which I am super appreciative of. Lily has to have one-on-one attention. She still wanders. She has the inattentive ADHD. I know she does, like I do. So does Liam, but Liam has a hyperactive and attentive ADHD because he gets that from his dad. And Lily has an OCD issue. I know that too. She's a little bit of a perfectionist. So is Liam, but not nearly as bad as Lily. So having that one-on-one is definitely very beneficial for Lily directly. Liam flies right through his homework. I don't, Dawn. I'm empty right now. I'm picking up 2 in Kentucky and coming north. The boy flies through his homework at night. He can do all of his homework on Monday that is not due until Friday. He's got numbers figured out already. He's going to have math figured out easily. I'll have to send Liam over to teach Liam Massachusetts level. Sorry, please do not. Please do not teach my kid anything from Massachusetts. I'm glaring at you through my phone right now. Liam has been watching, I can't remember what the name of the show is, but it's on HBO Max, and the guy is like, engineer level crafting. He makes his own things. He does really interesting scientific shows. And Liam's favorite one is the squirrels and squirrel watching, because the guy puts squirrels to the test to get walnuts. And if you know what I'm talking about, then you know what I'm talking about. And I cannot think of the show's name. Liam very adamantly wanted the science box. And I was like, dude, if we can afford it, I'll get you one. We could not afford to do it for Christmas, but I'll probably end up doing one for them for Easter, or just because in the summer for something them to do. Thank you, Ellie. Liam is definitely a science kid. Math and science are his strong points. So, and Lily is my art child. She's always making something. She's always trying to glitterify, beautify, jewelify, anything like that. And painting and cutting and stapling and taping and drawing and writing, and she's my art student. So I'm trying to get her to kind of find her niche in that she loves to draw. So I'm trying to see if she's going to stick to that, or if it's going to lead to painting or mosaics or something. So I don't know. We'll see. Does he like to read yet? He's starting to. We read to them at night. I know my mother reads to them when they're over there with her. They both have a very impressive library collection at both our house and my mother's house. They have access to books in every room. They have access to science books. They have access to my physics and biology books. They have access to the Minecraft and the computer books. They whatever they want, they get it. So Liam is much faster reader than Lily is. Lily's still having trouble. Again, her perfection OCD is focused on the sounds of the letters together, whether she knows the word or not. She had trouble with boy the other day because the teachers in her classroom are doing, and she's in speech therapy because of her tongue tie and the little bit of a lisp that she's still carrying from the issue she had as an infant. And so she's still got a little bit of a speech impediment that we're working through. I am Wanda. I am currently driving through Cincinnati. Hi to anybody that lives down here. I'm waving from the highway. I am driving through Cincinnati right now. So she was like, is that an O or an ooh or an ah? I'm like, oi. It's oi, Lily. And she's like, I don't know it. I know. I was like, you do know it. Oi. She's like, boy. And I said, yeah, see, you got it. You knew the word. She was like, uh-huh. I was like, girl, you gotta not be such a sound perfectionist. Just go with what your gut is telling you. You know the words. So Lily's having a harder time with reading than Liam is. So I recognize it. I used to fly into the airport. Well, that's where I'm headed to Kentucky. So yes, you have to go. If you're going through the northern way of Kentucky, you have to go through Cincinnati. Lily sounds like me when I was her age. Now I feel old. Yep, pretty much. You're welcome. My kids used to like the Magic Treehouse series. Might be second. Yeah, Magic Treehouse is more of second, third grade level. Good night, Shannon. Get some sleep. My sister grew up with Magic Treehouse, and I know the stories, and I read them a little bit too, because like I was like interested in what is this series? Why is this so popular? Such a good series for younger kids, absolutely. So it's a little bit still advanced for them. I'm making them actually do sight words with their Baby Einstein books right now. They're just trying to words, okay? You read the word, you know the word, this is what the word is. And just trying to reinforce sight words versus sounding them out. So we'll see. I'm trying. We're trying. Don't crowd in here. Truck, thank you. Wow, look at that view. It's better in person, I promise. Because then you're not getting the glare. I read the Magic Treehouse books with my Liam. Love them. Yeah, they're good. It's 12:17 here and I'm wide awake. Well, we're crossing the river into Kentucky. I am 3 hours from pickup. I have a friend there. I've been friends since 1972. That is dating yourself, Aunt Janice. Welcome to Kentucky. We're going to stay on 71 to 75 south. But we've been reading them chapter books as well. So like I'll read a chapter, Jim will read a chapter, I'll read a chapter. Jim's been doing some audio books with them in the cars sometime. Liam wanted to read a book about trains, a very scientific discovery book on trains. So we read 2 pages of that, and then it's like, okay, dude, now it's time. It is currently 7:19 in the evening, Sam. Sorry for the bounce. No trucks this lane, it says on the road. So they have a variety of options. We have a variety. Are you gonna get in front or not? Like, come on. Alright, well, you're gonna go slow, and I'm gonna go around you. There was a truck there. I'm still gonna go around you. Because I am empty! And I can push it up this hill. My poor truck, you need an oil change when we get done. I love you, truck. You're a good truck. You're a good truck. Whee! So yeah, that's kind of what's going on, guys. Honestly, welcome to Kentucky with me. Kids are doing well. Friends are doing better. I am busy. Horses are doing good. Is it right that Kentucky is the birthplace of Kentucky Fried Chicken? I don't know, actually. I'll be honest, I have no idea. Actually, I thought it was developed in Ohio. I don't know. Somebody else would have to chime in with that information. Oh, I had a good report about Dragon. I had a very, very good report about Dragon. His trainer called me the other day when I was sick. So that would have been Thursday. Do I have any desire to drive one of those semis? Yes. That's why I have a CDL. So that if I ever wanted to, I could hop behind the wheel of one of them big rigs and go. Probably not until the kids get older, though. Because driving one of the semis means home a lot less often than I am now. So once the kids get a little bit bigger and older, because if I drive a big rig, I'd be gone like 2-3 weeks at a time versus a few days here and there. So oh, nice, Aunt Janice. When is Dragon back? So that's a big question. I don't know when Dragon's coming home. We've had really good reports about him from the trainer, though. Come to find out, he says Dragon is extremely intelligent. He says, I've never said this about an Appaloosa before, but he has a brain. And I said, yes, he does. I know he does. Oh, thank you. Oh, flying on snow. Snow off the trailers. He says he's picking up things faster than any other horse he's worked with. I was like, well, that's awesome. He says he's talented. You've got something here. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, no, you have something. He says, I don't tell this to people. He says, usually they've got a good trail horse. You got a good trail horse. You got a good local thing to play with. He says, you have something here. He says, this is a money-making sire level performance horse. And I was like, oh, now I follow. He says, I don't see him being a jumping horse. I said, that's okay. I don't want him to jump. I don't need him jumping. We're fine. I'm not a jumping person. Played with it as a kid. No interest now. He says, I don't really see him as a hunt horse. Maybe. But I've never been, I haven't rode him in English. I was like, that's fair. He says, he looks like a reiner and a roping horse. I went, yeah, I could see that. He says, he's too fast to be a Western pleasure horse. And I said, you know what, and that's fine. Don't care. It's whatever is going to be good for Dragon. And he says, maybe when he gets older. I said, yeah, when he's too tired and slows down. He's like, yeah, probably. He says, but you've really got something here. He says, I don't tell this to everybody. In fact, I don't tell this to anybody. Do not geld this horse. And I went, okay, I hear you loud and clear. Thanks, Wanda. There's your answer, Sam. He says, this horse has a lot more potential than we expected. Yeah, you did, Genevieve. I'm sorry. But I just got talking about Dragon. I said, my problem is I don't know how to rope. Like, I've played with a lariat. I can throw it. I can get it to swing. But I really don't know how to handle a rope. And he's like, I'll teach you. Okay, all right. Well, mind you, Dragon's trainer grew up out west. He was raised Nebraska, South Dakota, Montana. The guy has been around. So he knows how to handle a rope. And I trust him. Before I sent Dragon to him, we talked for a couple hours about training theories and training opinions, what was best for the horse, what's not best for the horse, opinions on other trainers, and we pretty much reached the same consensus around each other's opinions and thoughts and stuff. So I trust the guy. I believe he's not lying to me, because as a person who's been in the horse world quite a bit, I said when Dragon was 3 months old, there is something about this horse. I told my husband then, I don't know why or what, but seeing him canter around the field at 3 months old with his mom, standing in the barn, seeing how nice and straight his legs are, the way his conformation was built, there's something about this horse. I have to have him. He says, if you can give me another month, I can probably have him finished. And I said, let's play it by ear. I can't wait to ride my own horse. He's been on him. He's rode him. He's getting him to stand at the mounting block like a behaving citizen. He's getting him so that way he'll sidestep to the mounting block like a behaved citizen. I did too what, James? Oh, I told you I have to have this horse? Yes, I did. He is long lining. He is getting Dragon to put his head down and stretch, build up his top line, put on more muscle. The owners of the barn that he is training out of, they have a quarter horse stallion that I saw the trophy room for this horse. This horse has his own trophy room. He has so many reigning champion trophies. I don't remember the name of the horse, but I've seen him in there. Yes, I know. I've recognized the name if I saw it again. It's a chestnut quarter horse stallion. I don't remember right now. But even the owners of that guy that owns the barn said and saw Dragon, and they said, this guy needs to be in the reining ring. This guy needs to be in the reining competitions. So I guess Dragon's gonna learn how to do reining, and I'm gonna have to learn to throw a rope. I think we're gonna start Dragon out then in reining, roping, and the Western Ranch sectors of the show world right now. That seems to be where he is kind of veering towards, which is actually very similar to what his half siblings are doing. Dragon's got siblings in the Buckskin Horse Association winning world championships in the ranch classes, in roping and reining. So it's really not out of his purview to be a reining, roping horse. He says he's very fast. He says, I don't see him doing barrels. I said, that's okay. I don't want him to be a barrel horse, honestly. Yes, Genevieve. Reining, roping, Western Ranch is all done in a Western saddle. Yep. So I know the Western Ranch show world pretty well. I taught my show kids how to ride in it and what to wear, which sucks because I bought a very nice, beautiful Western pleasure saddle that is too flashy for the Western Ranch world. It just means that my Rocking R will get a lot of use for a while until we can afford a different ranch saddle, which is okay. My Rocking R is very comfortable. The reining and roping, I know some about the reining world. I dabbled in it as a kid in 4-H. I walked some trainers. I've watched some clinics. I've read a lot of articles. But to actually ride and compete at a higher level than the 4-H world, I've not done that yet. And so that would be some new things for me. And I don't know anything about the roping world. I'll be completely honest. Roping is out of my knowledge range because I was never taught to rope professionally by a professional. You get the drift. So that's going to be the interesting part of what may or may not come out of this whole situation. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. I'm just glad I get to ride my horse. I watched it, and it kind of looks like they're limping to me, but it's a big thing, and what do I know? Western pleasure is different. Western Ranch is a lot more fun. Western Ranch, reining and roping, the horses are moving in their more natural state. Hey, Megan. They're not going to have that, what's called a 2-beat canter, which is not supposed to be awarded in the horse show ring of the world. And they're trying to get them to go away from cantering sideways down the rail and actually go straight. Reining, roping, and Western Ranch horses, you're going to see the natural canter. They're not crippled canters. They're not cantering sideways. They're more ground covering. And reining especially is the sliding stops. So you're galloping full speed at the wall and then asking the horse to stop very quickly to sit their butt down and slide. It's a lot of fun. Critter is a ex-reining horse. The trot and canter is beautiful. They are. We need to get on 71 south. Critter was the 2014 International Collegiate Horse Show Association reigning champion in Oklahoma that year. I don't know if the articles are still up. It is his registered name is Nonstop Nimble. So he used to be able to actually find the video. I don't know if the video is even still up anymore either, unless it like got archived or something. But Critter is a lot of fun. It's a lot of flying lead changes, so making them change lead without breaking from a canter. Spinning, sitting down and spinning in circles consistently. Fast backups, and a lot of finesse neck reining. You really have to know how to use your legs. You have to know how to use your cues. You got to know how to use your weight. And so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. I'm excited. I really am. I'm interested to see what Dragon decides to kind of really show what he likes the best. So, thanks, Megan. I appreciate it. You know, and then if Dragon continues to show and prove himself more, we'll be able to, show that he is a valuable breeding stallion at the same place. Not sure what type of shows I've seen, but some of those classes, they canter so slow. That would be Western Pleasure. I told Paul we should send a couple that way. Couple what, Megan? Yeah, if you're watching slow Western horses, you're watching Western Pleasure. That is not anything what I'm talking about. Western Pleasure is very popular with quarter horses, with the paint horses. The Last Cowboys on Paramount Plus, it's all about this type of competition. Yeah, I haven't read it. I saw the previews. I haven't watched it. I saw the previews. Horses to be trained. Oh, okay, I got you now, Megan. Yeah. It's interesting. And then, if Dragon does do really well in the ring and it's not rider error, it makes his value as a stallion better. It makes his foals more valuable because they are getting proven genetics being passed down. So we shall see. We shall see. It'll be interesting. It's good. Yeah, I'll have to sit down and watch it. I'm getting off dog sitting. Yeah, okay. Have fun. I have 2 hours and 45 minutes left. You would be our transporter. Well, I would assume so, Megan. Yeah. I know Dragon's trainer said that he's going to get very picky on what horses he's taking anymore. He did say he's going to be hosting a clinic sometime in the spring. He asked me specifically about using Dragon in the clinic tomorrow afternoon, Aunt Janice. So he's kind of like trying to get away from the horses that like to throw riders to the ground and sticking more with nice horses that are going to accept the saddle with a little less opinions to show. I know he's got it on his page. It's I can't remember what he goes by for his registered thing, but he uses his Facebook profile. It's Tyrell Coton. But he's good. He knows what he's doing, regardless of any other dramas. He knows what he's doing. Because you're not a horse person in the horse world unless you have drama surrounding around you, probably at this point in time. But yeah, so that was great news to get from Dragon's trainer. I'm super happy. I'm super psyched. I cannot wait to finally get out into the show ring again. Ride my horse. I just want to ride my horse right now. I'll have to have Jim live stream it or something. Oh, come on. Stop. It's a series on Paramount Plus about reining competitions. Yeah. Ginger takes the saddle. Well, I do. How far away is Dragon? Do I get to go see him? He is on the other side of New York State. He's still in state. It's about 4 hours. I have not yet seen him in person since I dropped him off last month. But he sends me pictures and videos, and so I know my horse is still there. Again, I don't think anything would happen to him at this point. I'm pretty comfortable. So, but I probably will end up going up here. I have a horse to move from northern New York, like northern being way up there, in a couple weeks. So I'll probably see if I can stop by and at least go see my horse at that point. So we'll see. Oh, I'm super happy about that. Other than that, everything else has been finally leveling out, other than finances. You still playing to breed with quartz? Well, yeah, of course. And I gotta get Sophie bred this spring. I gotta call Genesee Valley Equine in the morning. I gotta get Sophie scheduled for her broodmare stuff. Thanks, dude. And try to get that breeding contract taken care of. If I do get a foal finally out of Sophie with Taken, that's probably going to end up being my Western pleasure horse. Taken is an Appaloosa stallion standing in Michigan, but he's AI, artificial insemination, not artificial intelligence. Between him and Sophie, I believe it's going to be a tall, pleasure-bred foal. So that'll probably end up being my Western pleasure horse in the end. Do I still have a mare that you can breed? Yeah, I've got 2 brood mares. Where are you at? I'm in Kentucky. $165 miles till pickup. So we'll see. We'll see how things go. The future holds. Having the truck back definitely affects my mood swings. I missed my truck. I love this truck, and this truck makes me money. And when I'm not making money, the bills don't get paid, then I get depressing. So, yeah. So for those of you guys that stick with me and continue to listen to my ranting and ravings and the crazy stuff that happens in my life, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to start losing my voice here. So I'm going to hop off. I've got 2.5 hours left till I have to pick up. And then I'm probably going to end up finding a spot to just probably hunker down for a couple hours, take a nap, and then get back up on the road. So, yeah. But I got you guys updated as to what's going on, what has gone on. Dad is doing awesome. I'm back on the road. Dragon's doing awesome. The kids are doing good in school. Lily's sick. Jim is doing just fine. Nothing ever changes with Jim. I love him. And the horses are being taken care of when I'm gone. So, thank you, everybody. I appreciate all of you. You guys are awesome for sticking with me through my cycles and my swings and my moods and stuff and things. When I get better, I know Jay and I owe the subscribers a karaoke night that we're going to be doing on one of our trips. But I have to have a voice, he has to have a voice, and we have to pretty much plan that thing out with songs and stuff first. So you let that person in. How dare you? Don't even think about it. Learn to wait your turn, punks. Good night. Be safe. I'll catch another live soon. I'm sure we will. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Replay to get caught up. Yep, you're going to have to, Gene. Oh, you guys are racing each other. That's why. Goodbye. You got to be doing over 80 because I know what I'm doing and you're going past me. Stupid. That's how you end up in accidents. You're driving down the middle of the road because you cannot control your speed and your centrifugal force at the same time. Wow. You have a problem. Be careful. I will. I promise. Promise. Alright, you guys. Thanks so very much. Have a wonderful rest of your Sundays. And, we'll see what tomorrow brings. Good night, guys.